Hey guys, it's your girl Daphne, and if you're new here, welcome to my YouTube channel. Alright, in my last video, I talked about when we transitioned from co-sleeping to the crib. And I know some of you are probably wondering, well, how the heck did you do it? In this video, I want to talk about our experience and give you guys some of the techniques that we use to help sleep train our child. And with that, I also want to talk about how it's important to put your child on a schedule and routine. In order for your child to get used to something, you want to put them on a schedule and routine. I wouldn't expect you to put your child on a schedule between 0 to 3 months because at that time, you're still trying to figure out how many times a day they're eating, napping, and how many hours they're sleeping at night. So by 4 months, you should have that all figured out. Jordan doesn't go to daycare, but if your child goes to daycare, I think that's awesome because it already puts your child on a schedule. Here's what our daughter's schedule was like at 4 months old. She had about 6 bottles a day, and we fed her solids once a day. She woke up in the morning between 6:30, 7:15. She would have her first bottle of the day, and she would have some playtime and then take another nap between 10 a.m., 10:30. We would let her watch just a small amount of baby programs on Netflix. We didn't like to give her too much screen time. There'll be certain days she'd be in the studio with my husband listening to music, which she absolutely loved. And there's other times where we like to take her to the Boston Public Library where they have free programs for children 0 to 12 months. We found that very important for her to go to because that was her way of interacting with other children. On Sundays, we take her to Sunday school. She's in the nursery class, so she's able to see children her age there as well. Another thing that I like to do with her as well is to have her sit and watch the news. Yes, I said sit and watch the news because she sees other people talking back and forth, and I think that's a way of her learning how to communicate. She also continues playing during the day up until 8 when she takes her bath time. So she takes her bath every other day, and then when she gets in her PJs, we get her last bottle ready for the night. Now that she's 6 months old, we also prepare a bowl of baby oatmeal just to go with the bottle. I don't know, it's the Caribbean in me. I like to make sure my daughter is full before she goes to sleep. And when she's finished her oatmeal, I would take her upstairs to her room, sit on the glider with her, read her a bedtime story. After that, I would sing her a short song and just do a quick little prayer. I'd shut off the light and feed her her last bottle. This is her schedule every single day. And when you do that, it becomes a routine. Jordan is in bed at 9:30 every single night. And I know you guys are wondering, how did you get her to sleep in her crib? Yes, we started at 3 months, but it wasn't until our 4-month appointment with her where we talked to her doctor and she mentioned that would be the age when she should start getting used to her crib. So she mentioned a couple of methods that we could try, and one of them was the cry it out method. I've read about it on Google and what it's all about. I'm built with tough skin, so I automatically thought, let's go with that. Talked to Tony about it, and we were on the same page. Not every parent is built for the cried out method. You both have to be on the same page. If one of you is against it, it will not work out. So here's our technique. When she's had her last bottle, we didn't allow her to fall asleep in our arms because the point is for her to fall asleep on her own in her crib. So when we lay her down, she wouldn't be completely sleeping, and that's when she'd start crying and going off. We would slowly walk out, close the door, and watch her through the baby monitor. And yes, we would have weak moments. We would go in there, comfort her. Sometimes we'd rub her back when she's laying down. And there'll be times where we talk to her, but we didn't do that for too long because we didn't want her getting used to that. So it was 2 weeks of crying. The longest she's cried is for 15 minutes straight. It was hard, but we knew there would be a point where she'd just get used to it. So by the 3rd week, she was crying less, and then she got used to it and was sleeping perfectly fine. Now Jordan is sleeping for 8 to 9 hours a night. She would have random moments which she'd wake up at 2 in the morning and start whining, but she'd put herself back to sleep. Children, when they get about 5 months old, they don't need to be feeding that often, so they can last that long sleeping through the night. If your child is having a hard time transitioning to the crib, a helpful tip that I could give is to try to have your child nap in their crib as well so that they get used to it over time. And if your child is having a hard time sleeping at night, another helpful tip that I could give is that if they're taking long naps during the day, I would cut those hours that they're sleeping during the day so that they sleep longer at night. Jordan takes about 15 to 30-minute naps, and that's naturally. You'll be lucky if you get an hour or 2 out of her. But you know what? I prefer that because she sleeps longer at night. Do this every day with your child and start training them because it'll start becoming a routine. It's like Jordan knows her bedtime is at 9:30. Once that time starts approaching, she starts getting a little cranky. If we're having a late day and I start feeding her exactly at 9:30, sometimes she'll start falling asleep and her eyes will start getting heavy in her feeding chair. So she's now in a routine. She was officially sleep trained at 4.5 months old. Overall, this is important because parents need their sanity. If you did not get anything from watching this, the 3 main things that I want you to learn from this video is number 1, you have to create a schedule and routine for your child. Number 2, you have to be persistent in keeping that schedule. Number 3, you gotta resist the urge of picking up your child when they cry. I hope you guys learned something. If you guys have any experiences, I would love to hear them. Please comment below. And if you have any personal questions you want to ask me or suggestions or anything like that, please don't hesitate to DM me on my Facebook or Instagram page, and I would love to answer your questions. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and give it a thumbs up if you like what you see. And don't forget to hit that bell button to get notified every time I post a video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. I'll see you guys next time.